The underworld is a world of shadows, a dangerous game of power, betrayal, and crime. In Australia, the rise and fall of its most infamous mafiosos has left a bloody trail of intrigue and violence. Today, we uncover the chilling stories of 10 Australian mafiosos whose lives ended violently. Let's dive into the dark alleys of Australia's criminal past. Number 10. Alphonse Gangitano. Alphonse Gangitano, often referred to as the Black Prince of Lygon Street, was a key player in Melbourne's criminal landscape. Known for his charm and unpredictable temper, Gangitano cultivated an image of power and opulence. He was heavily involved in various criminal activities, including drug trafficking and extortion, which solidified his status in the underworld. His charisma masked a violent streak, making him both feared and admired. Gangitano's social circle included other notorious figures, and his life was a whirlwind of high-profile events and extravagant parties. Despite his seeming invincibility, his criminal activities eventually made him a target. In 1998, his life came to a shocking halt when he was found dead in his own home, a victim of a shooting. The circumstances surrounding his death remain a topic of speculation and intrigue, with many theories but no definitive answers. His murder has been linked to various underworld power struggles, but no one has been brought to justice. Gangitano's death left a void in Melbourne's criminal world and serves as a stark reminder of the violent ends that often await those who immerse themselves in organized crime. His legacy continues to fascinate and terrify, encapsulating the perilous allure of the mafia lifestyle. Number 9. Carl Williams. Carl Williams was one of Melbourne's most infamous gangland figures, dominating the city's criminal underworld during the early 2000s. Known for his cold ambition and ruthless pursuit of power, Williams orchestrated a series of violent acts designed to eliminate rivals and cement his dominance. Central to his rise was his involvement in the lucrative drug trade, which not only fueled his wealth, but also intensified bloody rivalries. Despite his growing influence, Williams' reign was riddled with betrayals and escalating conflicts. By 2004, his criminal empire began to crumble when he was arrested and convicted for multiple murders tied to Melbourne's notorious gangland wars. Sentenced to life in prison, he remained a high-profile figure even behind bars. However, Williams' notoriety could not protect him from the dangers of his violent legacy. In 2010, he was brutally murdered in prison by a fellow inmate using an exercise bike stem as a weapon. The attack underscored the harsh realities of life for high-profile criminals in the justice system. His death marked the end of one of Australia's most turbulent chapters in organized crime. Williams' life, shaped by power, greed, and violence, continues to intrigue the public, offering a stark reminder of the fatal consequences of a life lived in the shadows. His story remains a symbol of the relentless and unforgiving nature of gangland rivalries in Melbourne's criminal history. Number 8. Tony Mokbel. Tony Mokbel, infamously known as Fat Tony, rose to prominence as one of Australia's most notorious drug lords. His sprawling criminal empire was responsible for trafficking vast quantities of illicit drugs, earning him immense wealth and making him a top target for law enforcement. Mokbel's ascent in the underworld was marked by calculated alliances and ruthless strategies, solidifying his reputation as a formidable figure in organized crime. By the mid-2000s, Mokbel's activities had drawn intense police scrutiny and widespread media attention. In 2006, facing imminent prosecution, he fled Australia, igniting an international manhunt that captured headlines worldwide. Mokbel was eventually arrested in Greece in 2007 and extradited to Australia to face justice. Convicted on multiple charges of drug trafficking, his arrest marked a significant victory for law enforcement, though his influence within the underworld remained evident. Even in prison, Mokbel's life was far from secure. In 2019, he narrowly survived a violent attack by fellow inmates, suffering critical injuries in an assault that underscored the dangers high-profile criminals face behind bars. The incident highlighted the ongoing risks associated with Mokbel's criminal past and enduring notoriety. Mokbel's story continues to fascinate the public, offering a chilling glimpse into the perilous and often brutal world of organized crime. His life serves as both a cautionary tale and a stark reminder of the unrelenting nature of Australia's criminal underworld. Number 7. Dino Dibra. Dino Dibra was a notorious figure in Melbourne's underworld, known for his quick ascent in the criminal ranks. Born to Albanian immigrant parents, Dibra grew up in the suburb of Sunshine and quickly became involved in petty crimes during his teenage years. His ambition and audacity soon led him to more serious criminal endeavors, including drug trafficking and armed robberies. Dibra's connections with other high-profile criminals provided him with both allies and enemies, making him a significant player in Melbourne's gangland scene. His personality was as volatile as his career, marked by a blend of charm and ruthlessness that made him a complex figure in the eyes of both his associates and law enforcement. Dibra was also known for his flashy lifestyle, often flaunting his wealth through expensive cars and lavish parties. However, his rise to prominence was not without consequences. In 2000, Dibra's life was abruptly cut short when he was fatally shot outside his home in Melbourne's western suburbs. The violent end of his life was a stark illustration of the high stakes and perilous nature of organized crime. His murder remains one of the many unresolved cases in the ongoing saga of Melbourne's gangland wars, highlighting the ever-present danger faced by those who immerse themselves in such a treacherous world. Number 6. Pasquale Barbaro. Pasquale Barbaro's involvement in organized crime was almost inevitable, given his family's long-standing ties to Australia's criminal landscape. He was deeply embedded in the underworld from a young age, following in the footsteps of his relatives, who had also been prominent figures in the mafia. Barbaro's criminal activities spanned a range of illegal enterprises, from drug trafficking to violent extortion schemes. Barbaro's life was marked by constant danger, both from rival gangs and from law enforcement. He was known to associate with other high-profile criminals, forming alliances that both bolstered his power and exposed him to significant risks. Despite numerous run-ins with the law, Barbaro managed to evade long-term imprisonment for many years, maintaining a presence in the underworld that made him both a target and a threat. In 2016, the ongoing violence that surrounded his life finally caught up with him. Barbaro was gunned down in a residential area of Sydney, a chilling reminder of the brutal realities of organized crime. His murder was a significant event in the Australian mafia narrative, highlighting the relentless cycle of violence that continues to plague those involved in these illicit activities. The circumstances of his death remain a stark illustration of the perilous nature of a life entrenched in crime. Number 5. Mick Gatto. Mick Gatto's name is synonymous with Melbourne's criminal underworld, renowned for his ability to navigate the dangerous terrain of organized crime. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Gatto has survived multiple assassination attempts, a testament to his resilience, strategic acumen, and formidable reputation. Over decades, he has been linked to various illegal activities, including gambling operations and extortion schemes. What sets Gatto apart is his role as a mediator in Melbourne's gangland conflicts. He earned respect from both allies and adversaries by brokering peace deals between rival factions, leveraging his influence to maintain a delicate balance of power. However, his role as a negotiator has placed him in precarious situations, constantly walking the line between loyalty and betrayal. Gatto's most high-profile moment came in 2004 when he was charged with the murder of hitman Andrew Benji Veniamin, a case that gripped the public and solidified his enigmatic persona. Claiming self-defense, Gatto was ultimately acquitted, further bolstering his reputation as a survivor in a world where few escape unscathed. Despite his survival and influence, Gatto's life remains fraught with danger, emblematic of the high stakes that define the criminal underworld. His story continues to intrigue the public, offering a glimpse into the murky and often violent world of organized crime, where power, survival, and loyalty are constantly tested. Number 4. Frank Benvenuto. Frank Benvenuto was a notable player in Melbourne's criminal landscape throughout the 1990s. His criminal activities ranged from drug trafficking to money laundering, making him a significant figure in the underworld. Known for his calculated and cautious approach, Benvenuto was both respected and feared by his peers. Unlike many of his counterparts, he managed to keep a relatively low profile, avoiding the media spotlight while building a lucrative empire. Benvenuto's ability to maintain a low profile did not protect him from the inherent dangers of his lifestyle. His connections within the mafia and his involvement in high-stakes criminal enterprises made him a target. His murder in 2000 was a stark illustration of the ever-present danger that surrounds those entrenched in organized crime. Found shot in his car outside his home, his death was a chilling reminder of the violent realities of the underworld. The circumstances of Benvenuto's death remain a puzzle, contributing to the long list of unsolved gangland killings in Australia. His demise shocked the community and left many questions unanswered. The mysterious nature of his death has fueled numerous theories and speculation, underscoring the perilous and unpredictable world of organized crime. Number 3. Mario Condello. Mario Condello was a seasoned criminal lawyer whose clientele often included some of Melbourne's most notorious underworld figures. His deep connections within the criminal landscape blurred the lines between his legal profession and illicit activities. Condello was known for his sharp legal acumen, which he used to navigate complex criminal cases and, at times, allegedly manipulate legal outcomes in favor of his clients. While he presented himself as a respectable lawyer, Condello's involvement in the underworld ran deep. He was implicated in various illegal schemes, including drug trafficking and extortion, that extended his influence far beyond the courtroom. His double life was an open secret, making him both a valuable ally and a potential threat to other criminals. Condello's notoriety eventually caught up with him. In 2006, on the eve of his trial for conspiracy to murder, he was ambushed and shot outside his home. The timing of his death was significant, suggesting that his enemies wanted to silence him before he could reveal any damaging information during his trial. Condello's assassination sent shockwaves through both the legal and criminal communities, highlighting the precarious nature of living a double life. His murder remains a stark example of the violent ends that often await those entangled in the criminal underworld. Number 2. Jason Moran. Jason Moran was a notorious figure in Melbourne's criminal underworld, deeply embedded in the gangland scene. As a member of the infamous Moran family, his life was intertwined with a series of violent power struggles that marked the early 2000s. Moran's criminal activities were wide-ranging, involving drug trafficking and numerous acts of violence. His reputation for ruthlessness and his strategic alliances made him a formidable player among Melbourne's organized crime groups. Moran's life was fraught with danger, as his family's criminal empire often clashed with rival gangs. This perpetual conflict culminated in one of the most shocking acts of violence in the gangland wars. In 2003, Moran was gunned down in broad daylight while attending a children's football clinic, an audacious attack that left a lasting impression on the public consciousness. The brazen nature of his assassination underscored the ruthless and unpredictable environment of Melbourne's underworld. Moran's death was a significant blow to the Moran family, and highlighted the lethal consequences that come with a life entrenched in organized crime. His assassination remains one of the most notorious episodes in the history of Australian gangland conflicts. Number 1. Victor Pierce. Victor Pierce was a notorious figure in Melbourne's criminal underworld, infamous for his involvement in armed robberies and deep ties to organized crime. As a prominent member of the infamous Pettingill family, whose criminal legacy became the stuff of Australian folklore, Pierce was entrenched in the dark and dangerous world of Melbourne's gangland. Known for his tough, calculating demeanor, he was both feared and respected by allies and rivals alike. However, his life was marred by betrayal, power struggles, and violent feuds that ultimately sealed his fate. In 2002, Pierce met a grisly end in a drive-by shooting while seated in his car in Port Melbourne. The brazen attack remains one of Australia's most infamous acts of gangland retribution. Many suspect the murder was linked to his alleged cooperation with authorities during a high-profile trial, a betrayal that the criminal underworld deemed unforgivable. The execution sent shockwaves through Melbourne's gangland, cementing Pierce's death as a chilling reminder of the ruthless code of loyalty and silence that governs organized crime. Pierce's death underscored the relentless cycle of violence and revenge that defines the lives of Australia's criminal elite. His story is a grim reflection of the risks inherent in the underworld, where loyalty is fragile, betrayal is lethal, and survival often hinges on navigating shifting alliances. Victor Pierce's rise and fall remain emblematic of Melbourne's gangland wars, a dark chapter in Australia's criminal history.